We'll call the order of the Stevensville Town Council meeting agenda for Thursday, March 27th, 2025. Janelle, would you please take the roll call?
Councilor Barker. Here. Councilor Brown. Here. Councilor Smith.
Here.
And Mayor Michelson.
Here. Would you please please stand for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all. Let's move on to item number 3, public comments. Public comments from citizens on items that are not on the agenda. Seeing none, we'll move to item number 4, approval of the minutes. Item number A, town council meeting minutes of 2/27/25. Can I entertain a motion, please? Councilmember Barker.
I make a motion to approve town council meeting minutes from 2/27/2025.
We have a motion by Councilmember Barker. Do we have a second? Councilmember Smith.
Second.
I have a motion and I have a second. Do we have council comments on the minutes? No comments from the council on the first set of minutes? Any comments from the public on the minutes? Seeing none, Janelle, would you please take the vote?
Councilor Barker.
Aye.
Councilor Brown. Aye. And Councilor Smith.
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0. Thank you. Item number B, special town council meeting minutes for the closed session of 3/13/25. Can you entertain a motion, please? Councilmembers,
Move to accept special council meeting minutes on the closed session for 3/13/25.
we have a motion by Councilmember Smith. Do we have a second? Councilmember Barker.
Second the motion.
We have a motion. We have a second by Councilmember Barker. Do we have, can't have a discussion? It's closed.
Close.
Can't ask the public. Sorry. Seeing none, Janelle, would you please take the vote?
Councilor Barker.
Aye.
Councilor Brown. Aye. And Councilor Smith.
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0. Thank you. Item number C, town council meeting minutes of 3/13/2025. Can I get a motion, please? Councilmember Barker.
I make a motion to approve town council meeting minutes from 3/13/2025.
We have a motion by Councilmember Barker. Do I have a second? Councilmember Smith.
Second.
We have a motion. We have a second by Councilmember Smith. Now, do we have a discussion from the council on the minutes of 3/13/25?
Looks like my name's spelled right, so.
No comments from the council on the minutes? Any comments from the public on the minutes? Seeing none, Janelle, would you please take the vote?
Councilor Barker.
Aye.
Councilor Brown. Aye. And Councilor Smith.
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0. Thank you. Moving on to item number 5, approval of bi-weekly claims. May I entertain a motion, please? Councilmember Smith.
I move to approve biweekly claims 19563 through 19581.
We have a motion by Councilmember Smith. Do we have a second? Councilmember Brown.
I'll second the motion.
We have a motion. We have a second by Councilmember Brown. Do we have any comments on the bi-weekly claims? Councilmember Brown.
Claim number 19564, that's for Greg. Can we comment what the Davenport one is for?
Yes, we put Greg had to put a claim in for small claims court because he was like, what, $4,000 overdue. We were going back and forth and we weren't putting nothing in anymore, so we put a claim in. He paid the bill. He paid the $4,000 just this last week.
Okay.
And the pressure him for it, but we got it. Councilmember Brown.
Claim number 19574, that's the insurance policy for the airport. Did that remain the same or did that increase quite a bit?
No, it increased quite a bit. It went from 1,400 to 26. So, yeah. And it was actually 2,800. And so I worked with Brian and they shopped around for the best rate that they could get, and that's what they came up with. So, yes, it was steep.
We'll need to make adjustments in the budget.
I'm glad you got the bill now instead of after budget thing.
Any other comments on the claims from the council? Seeing none, is there any comments from the public on the claims? Seeing none, Janelle, would you please take the vote?
Councilor Berger?
Aye.
Councilor Brown?
Aye.
And Councilor Smith?
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0. Thank you. Moving on to item number 6, new business, item number A, discussion decision, utility easement agreement between landowner Stevenson and the town of Stevensville. Last fall, Mr. Stevensville and you came before me and wanted to do a utility easement, and I told him to draw one up and then bring it before the council. So here we are. So with that, could I get an entertain a motion to get the discussion started? Councilmember Smith.
I move to discuss and I move that we adopt utility easement agreement between landowner Stevenson, Severson, excuse me, and the town of Stevensville.
We have a motion by Councilmember Smith. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Councilmember Brown. We have a motion. We have a second by Councilmember Brown. With council's approval, I'd like to have him come up to the podium and explain what the easement is about, so you know if you have any questions for him.
Dan couldn't be here, so he asked me to come. All we're asking for is an easement for an underground power line from Middle Burnt Fork, running across the western edge of town property over to Dan Severson's property to provide the power for a pivot irrigation system. Pretty straightforward.
This was approved, looked over by Greg, and Greg was pretty impressed with how simple the easement was drawn up.
Okay.
He thought I should mention that to you.
Yeah, it just kind of runs along the edge of the property. It's
30 feet? Is there any more questions from the council? I'd be like Councilmember Brown.
I have a question with section 3, access to the easement. It states that you have the right to go outside of that for 30-foot easement for driving vehicles off-road to get to the easement, and will use the route suggested by the grantor as long as the route provides effective access to the easement. The grantee will have the right to use temporary workspace adjacent to the easement when installing, maintaining, replacing equipment to the easement. I feel that within that 30-foot strip, people to access that easement and not have to go outside of that corridor for this. Also, the other thing, the easement is to run with the property. So this is more or less a forever easement. Once it's granted, it remains there until all the parties agree to abandon, alter, or terminate. So I guess my concern was why we needed that section 3 in there. I know that this property, the town uses for part of their watershed up there, and it was purchased from Ralph Wood so that his cows wouldn't run across there and we wouldn't have groundwater in the springtime. So I guess that I have a hang up with that little section.
Sure. I can't imagine once the power line is in that it would need to be, we would need to access it all, really. I mean, I don't know why that's in there. Maybe the lawyer put that in there just in case. I don't know. Honestly, don't know why that's in there.
Could we strike that one? Go ahead, Councilmember Brown.
You could strike it, but all parties should initial that. If you cross through it, all parties in the easement agreement should initial that paragraph
Okay.
being striked.
Please strike.
The other thing is they will need to modify the notary block for the town of Stevensville because they have a notary block instead of being attested for the mayor to sign.
What was that now?
For the town, there's a different, they put in a normal notary block for the town signatures and stuff, and that needs to be fixed and modified. Because Janelle should attest the mayor's signature.
I usually just follow him to the notary and just attest it right in front of her.
Yeah, and they have a notary block in there for them, so
Okay,
that might be something to look at also.
we can do that. Councilmember Barker.
So in order for me to envision how the property sets and everything, and utility easements and where utilities were coming in and out, I took a drive up to see along these particular pieces of property, noticing that there was an actual power pole that was just down from David Kaufman's property, is that right there? Looks like a very new, and you're wanting to put the wheel light on your side of the property. Why couldn't you hook up to that? There's an access there, and there's
'Cause
also an access coming off of Middle Burnt Fork as well.
Because there's not 220 there. The 220 is on Middle Burnt Fork, and where that pole is, are you talking about the pole on South Burnt Fork Road?
South Burnt Fork as well, right? That
Yeah.
borders right next to David Kaufman's property. And then just on the other side of Cohen's property, there is the big power pole there as well.
Off of Norm Cohen's?
Off of Middle Burnt Fork.
On Middle Burnt Fork. I think that's where we're going off of and going across Norm Cohen's and then onto the city piece. Because the town of Stevensville actually has an easement across Norm's property to get to their property, and I think we're going right through there, as far as I know. But as far as the South Burnt Fork one, there's not enough power at that pole there's not 220 there. The only 220 is on Middle Burnt Fork. So that's why we can't go off of South Burnt Fork.
It just seems like an awful wide strip to have. I don't know if that's common or,
The 30 feet, I mean, I think that's mainly for getting it in. I mean, you have to drive vehicles in there to put the power line in, and then once it's in, I mean, it's,
You would need to go in there again.
yeah, I can't imagine that.
Can we attest that they're not gonna go in again? That's, you know.
Well, that's why we're striking number 3 here. Where it says,
You know, if it's a one and done deal and it's no longer going to have any problems with getting in and damaging any more of the area for the watershed. I mean, it's.
It's on the very western edge of the watershed. It's on the very downhill side of the watershed. I don't know if that makes a difference to you, but I mean, most of the water that percolates up there comes from middle to the eastern part of that, just from being familiar with that ground. So the runoff, I mean, I don't think, in my opinion, I don't think that putting an easement through on the west side is really going to damage the watershed that much, because most of the water comes from above there. Everything, it's on the lowest part of the property, I guess. It's the very downhill side of it, I guess.
Councilmember Brown.
In section 1, I do believe they have the right in that paragraph to maintain also. So in section 1, on page 3 of 8, in section 1, they have the right to maintain their utility easement. So that's why I was wondering about section 3 also.
Section 3 just kind of sounds like overkill. Or double, yeah.
Any other comments from the council? Any comments from the public on utility easement? Seeing none, Janelle, would you please take the vote?
Councilor Barker?
Are we going to amend our motion?
Okay, do you want to amend it, take section 3 out?
Yes.
Okay, back it up. Would somebody like to make a motion to amend the easement? Councilmember Brown.
I move that we amend the utility easement agreement between the landowner Severson and the town of Stevensville to strike paragraph 3, or section 3, I
We
should
have a
say.
motion by Councilmember Brown to amend the utility easement to strike section 3. Do I have a second?
Oh, yeah, I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion, we have a second. Do we have a further comment from the council?
Yes, I'd like to know if this then has to go back to the owners or whatever for the initials, like you were saying earlier.
Yeah, I can do that, on the notary part. Councilmember Brown.
Yes, they will have to initial that cross through.
Any further comments from the council? Any comments from the public on the amended motion? Is the council ready to take a vote? Okay, Janelle, would you please take the vote?
Councilor Barker?
So this is on the amendment, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Aye.
Councilor Brown?
Aye.
And Councilor Smith?
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0. Now we'll go back to the original utility easement agreement. You've already had a motion in a second. Any further discussion from the council? Any further discussion from the public? Seeing none, Janelle, please take the vote.
Councilor Barker?
Aye.
Councilor Brown?
Aye.
And Councilor Smith?
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0. Thank you. Moving on to item number B, opening of the RFPs for tree trimming services. We did not receive any bids. This has to do with the disaster that the council approved that we put that out. So we'll move on to the next discussion decision, awarding of the bid of tree trimming services. Since we did not have any bids, I'm asking the council for guidance. Would the council like for the, put it out for RFP again? Or would the council like to just have us pick a tree trimming service? We'll get the written quotes for our purchasing policy, we just won't pick one, we'll have to,
Right.
so. What was the council think? Before we do that, could we get a motion to start it? Councilmember Parker.
I make a motion, how do we do this, because we're not even opening up RFPs. I would make a motion for the town to seek out additional tree trimming services.
We have a motion by Councilmember Parker. Do we have a second?
I'll do that, yes.
Okay, we have a motion and we have a second. We have discussion from the council. Councilmember Brown.
So I'm going to write something up, tell them what we need, and then send it out to companies
Yeah.
and hope that they reply to us.
Right. We'll send out like three different places. And then they'll bring it back. And we'll bring the one that we think is the lowest or the best, bring it back before the council. Or we can bring them all back before. Councilmember Parker.
So is this gonna have to be somebody that's arborist certified in order for us to be able to continue with the money that we received? from
No, we've
the-
already had the arborist. She's already come and has identified the trees that need to be trimmed or taken
She's
down.
already,
So
We
that
just need a
has
tree
been
trimmer.
done.
Yes.
We're
So just need the tree trimming.
We just need the tree trimmer. We just need somebody to do the work.
Tyler Grace is a good guy for, I don't know if you know, local as well, so I don't know.
oh yeah, we'll see our local first.
So,
Yeah, I could say this is all covered by a disaster, but we still have to go through the process.
right, correct.
I need to get
Any comments from the public on seeking out a tree pruning company to do our disaster pruning? Seeing none, Janelle, please take the vote.
Councilor Barker,
Aye.
Councilor Brown,
Hi.
and Councilor Smith.
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0. Thank you. Moving on. Item number E, discussion decision, awarding a bid for self-service, opening a bid for self-service fuel station at the Stevensville Airport. So with that, Janelle.
So I spoke with you, Mayor, before the meeting. I'm gonna open up the first one. I'm gonna hand this over to Tyler and Sarah to review to make sure that it meets the checklist. And if everything is in that document, or in this, meets the checklist, then they'll bring it back to me and I'll state the amount, and then we'll do the second one right after that. Okay?
Go ahead.
First one received is from Granite Petroleum Inc. out of Spokane, Washington. Thank you.
Okay, so first of all, completed bid form with unit prices and words and figures, that'll be page 4 through 7. Good.
Yes.
Okay, check. 10% bid bond enclosed, that's Form B. With the amount listed, on page 8.
The bid bond is enclosed and signed.
And sealed, okay. Completed equal opportunity certification, page 9.
It's filled out.
Completed tax delinquency and felony conviction certification, page 10. Got that? Completed lobbying certification, certified by signature on bid packets.
Yes.
Okay. Certification regarding domestic preference, certified by signature on bid packets. Completed bidders list, page 11. Okay. Evidence of competency, page 15.
Yes.
Contractor financial responsibility, page 16.
Yes.
Completed by American certification, page 17, 18.
Yes.
The proposal signed and dated on page 19.
Yes.
Contractor's registration number provided on page 19.
Yes.
3 addenda acknowledged.
Yes.
Completed trade restriction certification for Form G attached. Got that,
Yes.
signed, dated. And then completed non-collusion affidavit, Form H attached.
Yes.
Okay, so Granite Petroleum out of Spokane is responsive. So if you want to read the,
Which is at the bottom of page 7, correct? Yes.
yeah,
Total schedule 1? Yeah, and page 8 has just the number.
there's a previous page on the top
There
there.
we go. Schedule 1, $590,868.00.
Would you mind repeating that?
590, comma, 868.00.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. The second bid, are you ready, Tyler?
Yep.
Okay, and this is from Energy Systems LLC, and they're out of Billings, Montana. Not stapled, Sarah, so.
Okay. Completed bid form with unit prices and words and figures, pages 4 through 7.
Okay, so they don't have words written out.
Not sure what to do here. They filled out the dollar amounts in numbers, but they didn't fill out the words. I think technically they need to fill out the words like it would be like a check. So I'm not sure if we can consider them responsive.
Because usually you have to use the words to match to your dollar amount to make sure that they're the same. And then everything, yeah, just like a check, so that each column adds up.
So yeah, it would basically be like writing a check, but not writing the words portion of it. So,
Correct.
Just filling out the number and not writing out the amount.
Right.
And you have to have the written for the check to go through.
Right.
Yeah, and the purpose here is if there's a map there, in the number portions, then you defer to the written.
And that's explained in the invitation to bid and, front specifications as well. So, I think we have to consider this non-responsive.
So we're down to one bid now.
We're down to one bid.
So with that, Granite Petroleum would technically be the lowest apparent responsible bidder of $590,868. Our engineer's estimate was $464,300, so quite a bit higher. I guess as part of it, maybe just a little uncertainty on pricing, as far as potential price escalations. So. Yeah, and Sarah just pointed out, we have a checklist on the front of the bid packet. It says, completed bid form with unit prices in words and figures, so. So yeah, I guess that covers the opening of the bids, and then I guess, does the council want to go through the next section then?
Yeah, it's on the agenda.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay,
Perfect.
moving on to item number item number D, discussion decision awarding a bid for self-serve fuel station at the Stevensville airport. So we only have one bid. And I entertain a motion.
Who was the grant, was it just grant?
So it's Granite, GRAN, excuse me, ITE, Petroleum, PETROLEUM, Incorporated.
Thank you.
Councilmember Warner.
I make a motion to award Grant Petroleum Incorporated of the bid for self-serve fuel station at the Stevensville Airport.
We have a motion by Councilmember Barker. Do we have a second? Councilmember Brown.
Second that motion.
We have a motion, we have a second by Councilmember Brown on awarding the self-serving station to Grant Petroleum. We have a discussion from the council. Councilmember Brown.
They were getting a grant for this. How does that bid compare to the amount that was to be received by the grant?
So like I said, the engineer's estimate's over 100,000 lower. However, I'll have to look at the overall breakdown. I know that there was some contingency in our numbers for the grant. And so, and I don't have that breakdown in front of me, so I'll have to look at that. But it may be slightly over what the budget was. But I'll also have to take a look at our breakdown of our grant. Application had those different prices.
But how does it affect the overall grant? I mean, will still be able to cover it?
Yeah, the overall grant, as far as the FAA goes, yes. The Montana Aeronautics grant may fall short if, depending on how much more this was compared to our estimate. And that would be, so if it's, say, another $10,000, over then it would be 5% of that would be out of pocket by the airport. So it'd be 5% of 10,000 would be
Not a lot, it's just 5%.
just 5%.
Yeah, okay, I'll cover that, correct.
Yeah.
Councilmember Brown.
Do we need to take this back down to the airport board to review and come back since it's over the?
You sure can.
I feel better about it.
Okay. You want to make a motion to?
Go ahead, Sam.
I move that we have the airport board
Table this, huh?
table this and the airport board have the chance to look at the bid amount to make sure that we can cover that
Okay.
via through grants or however.
Okay, we have a motion, we have a second.
Second.
We have a motion, we have a second to table this, take it back to the airport board, have the airport review it, make sure that the numbers crunch together, and bring it back before the council for final approval. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. Do we have any discussion from the public on that? Council member? Craig?
Promotion.
Guys, stay here, is this okay? So the next airport board meeting would be April the 10th. And when is the following council council meeting? That was the only,
Craig, your meeting will be
oh,
April
the
8th.
8th, the next council member meeting is the 10th, is that right?
Yes.
So Janelle, could you schedule both for the airport board?
Correct,
meeting?
so I can make sure that on the night of the 8th, when we update the packet,
That's right.
that is already on the agenda for the 10th meeting, and then you guys will come with that. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Any other discussion from the public? Any further discussion from the council? Seeing none, Janelle, would you please take the vote?
Councilmember Barker?
Aye.
Councilmember Brown?
Aye.
And Councilmember Smith?
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0. Thank you. Moving on to item number F, discussion decision, resolution number 532A, a resolution of the Stevensville Town Council amending the purchasing policy of the town of Stevensville. So, this is basically some housekeeping, record keeping by Gina, so she can keep better track of our fuel. Correct?
Yeah, it's just a little bit more details on things that we need to, to make sure that we have everything we need to go with the plan.
So with that, could I get a motion, please? Councilmember Barker.
I make a motion to approve resolution number 532A, a resolution of the town, Stevensville Town Council amending the purchasing policy for the town of Stevensville.
We have a motion by Councilmember Barker. Do we have a second? Councilmember Smith. We have a motion. We have a second by Councilmember Smith on resolution 532A. Do we have discussion from the council? Councilmember Barker.
After reading through everything on where we've highlighted what needs to be changed, item number F on B, the Cenex fleet card transactions. Down at the bottom, it says use of personal and credit cards for fuel is prohibited unless authorized by finance department. What personal types of things would be used on that card? Because we have it listed in here that no personal.
So let's say that they are traveling to a conference and they go to get fuel somewhere and their card, doesn't work. And they would have to use their personal card, especially if they're on business. And they could give me a call or whatever, and I can prove that, obviously we would approve that, because we don't want somebody to be stuck somewhere. Sometimes those things happen, but I think that would be one of those instances. I think you can't just say never, and then now they're stuck, and like, oh. So I think the thing of it is that we really want everybody to know, please use that fleet card, because we do get a discount for using it. And we also track, they put the odometer reading in of the car, so that's a really good way to also track kind of, are they filling up the right vehicle, or, those kinds of things. So it's just a better way of tracking. We used to do it before I even got here. That was done for years, and then for some reason it just stopped being done. And so we're just trying to bring that back in, so.
Okay, I just wanted clarification on.
Yeah, good question.
Any other comments from the council on purchasing policy? Councilmember Brown.
I just had a question that says all credit card transactions must be approved by a supervisor. And then under number C, the purchase order must be signed by the supervisor. Do we want to specify their immediate supervisor?
They only have just the one supervisor. And so basically what it is if somebody needs to go purchase something and they need to contact we'll use the chief for example. If one of the police officers goes, oh my gosh, I just broke something, I need to get it, the chief can approve it, then they can go and get whatever it is they need. That invoice then comes back to me, we'll fill out a purchase order, and that has to be signed by the chief. So those are actually requirements by the auditor.
Okay, any other comments from the council? Any comments from the public on the purchasing policy and the fuel cards? Seeing none, Janelle, would you please take the vote?
Councilor Barker,
Aye.
Councilor Brown,
Aye.
and Councilor Smith.
Aye. Motion passes 3-0. Thank you. Moving on to item number G. The CTAP grant engineering firm was chosen for the update of the town of Stevensville growth policy, finally. As you see before you, this is a proposal that Great West has done for the town of Stevensville so far. You get to see that they did a bunch of other towns about our size, and it looks like they did a great job, and they've already put some wording in here for us. They've got a pretty in-depth schedule, as you can see, on page 72, or their page, whatever that is. Anyway, they'll start out with a kickoff meeting, and next Tuesday, is it, Janelle?
Let's see, on the 2nd.
On
So
the second,
next Wednesday.
Janelle and I and Danny Arps of the Commerce Department and some,
Jerry,
yeah, of this firm, we're gonna all sit in a big conference, go over everything and get everything kind of working together. And then we're gonna bring that before the planning and zoning meeting next month for a kickoff meeting. Get the ball rolling. And as you can see, they wanna try to keep it to a pretty heavy schedule. As far as this is, so we don't get way behind. They've made some ideas already, but Janelle and I, Danny did, one of them was to contact the school. The teachers there, and do their civic class meeting, see if we can't get the students involved in this, get their parents involved. Go ahead.
and I did reach out and sent an email to the history teacher at the high school and let him know that we would be doing this and this is what's going on, and to contact the mayor and I when they wanna know when the next meeting's gonna be about this and get the government class involved as well.
Because this is the town's policy. We can get any amount of people involved in this and get the word out. And we'll be posting it in the paper and other things like that as we kick off and get moving and, trying to get other people involved. Councilmember Brown.
I did like, Brown?
Parker.
I did like the fact that, outreaching to the public, I think going door to door, let people know that this is what we've got going on, make them involved. Try to communicate with them. I think that's our best form of communication as well.
Have you seen our new flyers?
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty good
You
at
can't,
that.
sir, you have to do the CCR next, so you have to wait.
But, no, I would be willing to, since, I am sitting on the planning and zoning board, and I feel it's very, something that needs to happen. Obviously, the last one that we had was in 2016. And it was intense then, but reading this, I think this is gonna be better. Definitely for the outreach, especially for different ongoing projects that maybe the town is facing and stuff like that. Reading what they have in here, I like, just for the pure fact of it's very detailed and it's very timelined. I mean, it's very time crunching, and I think we need that.
Yep.
So,
It keeps everybody on schedule.
absolutely.
We were very fortunate to be just chosen pretty much out of the blue to receive this grant, because I think this growth policy is huge to us, even more than the last one.
Well,
And it's really great that we have a company that is so
Not only
dedicated.
that, but the facing of what we're going through right now as well, seeing all that, and, Thompson Falls had a big project, and they're a small town, and to see what they came from, and, I've talked to, their mayor Rusty several times, and what they've done for them was incredible. So, and, that was one of the things that, I'd asked her about different growth policies and stuff, not knowing at the time until we got the packet, that they help them with their water projects.
Mhm.
So,
No, that's a great deal. Like, I think 2 years ago now, us three sat on the council when Mayor Gibson was there. And we had, what, 15,000?
Okay.
We had a $15,000 grant to use from the same Department of Commerce, but we couldn't find anybody to do it for 15,000. So it sat, and then now they contacted us and said, hey, we got $30,000. Would you like to do a growth policy?
yeah, and I like the fact that they don't charge us if they don't go over that. You know, they do it according to the budget that they use.
I like that we don't have to write checks other than for putting it in paper and stuff like that.
According to this, it's 25.
But I think they said there was a thing in here that said 30,000.
Yeah.
Up to 30,000, I think is what it was.
Yeah.
But other towns have used less than that 30,000 for their project.
Don't worry, they won't go over. Save money, they'll have to pay. Okay, any other discussion from the council on it? So, like I say, next week we'll gear up a meeting and we'll get the ball rolling on that. So with that, we'll move on to item number 8, discussion decision, approved budget workshops for April 9th and April 30th, 2025 at 5:30. So, the plan this year is, since we don't have to, held us up last year with the water and sewer reports. This year we don't have to wait on that. I think we're shooting for to have the budget done by the deadline of June 30th this year. So we can move on to other things. So with that, I'd like to entertain a motion to approve the budget workshop for April 9th and 30th, 2025. Councilmember Martin?
I make a motion to approve budget workshops for April 9th and April 30th, 2025 at 5:30 PM.
We have a motion by Councilmember Parker. Do we have a second? Councilmember Brown?
A second.
We have a motion. We have a second by Councilmember Brown to do the workshops on April 9th and April 30th at 5:30. Any discussion, Councilmember Smith?
Everything is well and good, but I will not be in town on April 30th.
Well,
Could do it Zoom. If you want to do that, I can do that.
actually, on the workshop, we don't even need a quorum. It's just a workshop. So, I mean, if you miss.
So as it stands right now, you'd have a quorum anyway.
Well, we have a quorum, but hopefully by then we'll have, maybe have a council member.
Now you have the announcement that I'm not going to be here on the
So, there
30th.
you go.
I got to write that up.
Any further discussion on the workshops? Any discussion from the public? Great.
I have an agenda item that we incorrectly addressed. Can I approach the council?
No, this is a different item here. Any other comments from the public? Seeing none, Janelle, would you take the vote?
Councilor Barker?
Aye.
Councilor Brown?
Aye.
And Councilor Smith?
Motion passes 3-0. Thank you. Board reports. Town council comments. Councilmember Warner.
I would like to thank the town or the Public Works Department for helping out Hava Coffee with the new parking. However, I do realize that there's still some issues along the street with the parking, and I'm hoping that we're gonna be able to address that a little bit more. And then especially once we get more staff on too, because I think people right now are just looking at that and just, they're parking there anyway. So, anyway, I just wanna say thank you for addressing that and taking care of that issue for now, and hopefully that helps them out with their business.
Councilmember Smith.
Regarding, I have the same heartfelt thing that we helped them out with the parking, but the signs, the no parking signs should be turned the other way instead of flat out. It's hard to see. And maybe that's why we're having violators. 'Cause I've seen that.
I can ask the highway department about that. I can make a note.
Okay. Anything else?
Councilmember Smith.
Okay, unless I missed it today in the paper, but I didn't see anything flying for the council position, the open council position.
I'll address it in the executive.
Okay.
Councilmember Brown.
I just wanted to let the public know that the fence is up at Oliver Valley. It looks nice. Unfortunately, it did not get moved back like originally planned, so there's still going to be a mowing issue and weeds growing up and stuff like that, that's going to be hard to get to, so. But it looks nice.
There was an electrical line on one, they tried to, they hit an electrical line, so they had to move back to it.
Oh. Yeah, don't want to cut electrical lines.
No, that was it, that's why. Any other council comments? Okay, we'll move on to executive comments.
Mayor Mickelson, well, I hate to interrupt you. I believe that there is something that maybe needs to be addressed in the awarding of the bid for the self-serve fuel station.
Yeah.
Will you allow Mr. Reed to approach?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, sorry,
Had to make that
bring this up
formal.
again, I appreciate that. So when we got done, we started reviewing in the special provisions and also the front end specifications. And there is a section that basically, the way that we interpret it, gives the council the opportunity to waive technicality with costs. And I can just read it to everybody. So this is under section I, award or rejection. This is, it says the owner reserves the right to reject any or all proposals or to waive any formality or technicality in any proposal in the interest of the owner. And so with that, I guess if the town wishes, we could potentially still at least open the bid and read it and then review it. I'm not sure if maybe the town attorney would want to, look at this a little bit closer to see if that would be valid, but
The second bid, you mean?
yes. So I guess if the council thinks that would be appropriate, we could open that bid or go through the rest of the checklist, make sure there's nothing else besides just the wording wasn't written out. And then in that case, we could still.
I don't think we can make a decision on council comments
Okay.
like that. Am I correct? We'd have to bring it back.
Mhm.
Another agenda item.
Correct.
Yeah.
So it does have to be brought back as another agenda item.
Unless, under council rules, if it's not of big significance, the council can make a motion and make a second on something like this.
That's what I was going to say.
Hmm.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Yes.
Council can still make it, you can make a decision on it right now, under council rules. It doesn't have any significance or bearing. I mean, all it is basically opening the bids, they're looking it over and taking that to, their board. They can look at both bids and they can bring them back they gotta bring them back anyway. But you are guided under your council rules to make a motion right now in a second if you would like.
We can open it up to send both bids back to the board. Is that what you just said?
Correct?
Yes.
You will the amount and then you take it to the board. The board will review both bids. And when it meets all the checklists, meets all the guidelines, bring them back before the council, let the council make a decision on those.
Right. Right now, as far as we've gotten, there is one part of the checklist that they're not checking, and that's because they didn't write the words out. But And so that's where the council, I think, would ultimately make the decision whether or not that's a technicality they're willing to waive.
This is something that Greg could look at too, huh?
Usually it's not reviewed by
Usually not.
the town attorney.
Alright.
In this case, we have an engineering firm that is using that checklist and going off of it that way.
Be like we did on the bids last year on the water project and the street project where HDR looked at the bids, they took them back, and then they brought it back before the council at another meeting, and the council made this decision based on the same thing.
Then I move that we take the second bid and let it go to the airport board as well.
We have a motion by Councilmember Smith, do we have a second? Councilmember Brown. We have a motion, we have a second by Councilmember Brown. We have a discussion by the council.
You look like you had something else to say.
Just gonna say, we'll still go through the rest of the checklist and then you'll read. Okay.
Exactly.
Any comments from the public?
Thank you.
Seeing none, Janelle, would you please take the roll?
Councilor Barker?
Aye.
Councilor Brown?
Aye.
And Councilor Smith?
Alright.
Motion passes 3-0. Thank you. Okay, that's kind of a funky deal, but it is allowed in the council rules. Okay, I'll move on to executive report now. Councilmember Brown.
We should have actually suspended council rules to do that motion.
He did ask you to do that.
Hmm?
You did
Did he
ask him
ask
to
me
do that.
I think it was so much.
You got it.
He asked if you'd like to suspend council rules and under the council rules.
Okay, correct. It was
I
so much.
Mayor, do you want them to continue reviewing and wait for your executive report so I can state the dollar amount
Sure.
for the record? Would that be okay?
Okay. 10% bid bond closed, will be attached. And not listed.
Bond is enclosed, signed and sealed. And the amount is voted.
Completed equal opportunity certification, page 9.
Is completed.
Page 10, tax delinquency and felony conviction.
That is completed.
Completed lobbying certification, so signature on bid packet.
Yes.
Completed bidders list, page 13.
No, but there's listed.
Okay, but that's, means that they don't have any subs. Okay, that is included. Evidence of competency, page 15.
Is completed.
Contractor financial responsibility, page 16.
Is completed.
Completed by American certification, page 17 and 18.
Is completed.
Bid proposal signed and dated.
Yes.
Contractor's registration number provided.
Yes.
Addendums 1 through 3 acknowledged.
Yes.
Completed trade restriction certification, Form G.
Yes.
And then lastly, completed non-collusion affidavit, Form H, attached.
Yes.
Okay,
And the rest.
so we've gone through the checklist then.
Schedule 1 for the self-serve fuel station for Energy Systems LLC, $425,000 and 0 cents.
Okay, I'll move on to my executive comments. The town's past due amount for their water that people owe is finally down below $10,000. It does fluctuate a little, but this is the lowest I've ever seen it in many, many years. So I want to thank Public Works, and I want to thank Andrina and the ladies there that are doing a great job. As you all know, Town Hall is about water, working on to fix the problem. Garden City Plumbing, they're here, and hopefully we'll have that up and running tomorrow or this weekend. We have a spring cleanup that's going to start here, and spring cleanup is back. Curbside pickup for town council only. This year we're scheduling for April 28th to May 2nd, 2025, 8 to 4 each day. What can be picked up? Bagged organic yard material, no grass clippings, no rocks, no dirt, no trash. Bag leaves only, no grass clippings, no rocks, no dirt, no trash. Small branches bundled and tied, not to exceed 4 feet in length and 4 inches in branch diameter. No drop off of yard debris at Lewis and Clark Park. If there are any questions, you can call Town Hall. And also, Andrina's made up these little tags, and when the guys will pick them up, and if they're grass clippings or something, people throw them on there, you're gonna put a little tag on there and say, no, we're not picking it up. That's the reason. Because last year with the storms, everything was garbled, we worked the guys to death, and there's a lot of things that there was, as we all know, were put out to the street that we shouldn't be picking up. That should be the homeowner's responsibility. And I don't have a problem, again, this year, if people you go by your street, you don't pick it up, and you say, hey, can I take it down behind Public Works and dump it? You bet. But then, if we start seeing where people are putting in their non-leaves, non-branch trash.
Refrigerators.
Yeah, all that kind of crap, then they'll cut it off.
Yeah.
Because people abuse it. So, that's what's going on there. We got good news today also. They all left, at the town Department of Transportation received a grant through the FAA, which is our airport. I'll read it. Dear Brian Germain, the Montana Aeronautics Board has considered your application for state airport financial assistance at its February 6, 2025 meeting in Helena. We are pleased to inform you the Aeronautics Board has approved the funding to support the work outlined in your application below. So they, to rehabilitate the taxiway, they gave us $9,200. To rehabilitate the taxiway, they gave us $24,250. To rehabilitate the apron, they gave us $4,860. To construct, improve, repair the fuel farm utilities, they gave us $30,900. To rehabilitate the runway, they gave us $10,206. Grant funds were awarded on one more specific categories of work by accepting the grant funds. You, the sponsor, agree to utilize the awarded funds in specific in the above table. And it says it may not exceed 10%, blah, blah, blah. So anyway, this takes an effect June 30th, or to obtain your grant, the Aeronautics Division must receive the following documents by June 30th, 2026. So that's great news. So good work, Brian and Craig. I'd also like to read a resignation letter from Councilmember Nelson. Dear Honorable Mayor and Council members, I am writing to inform you of my resignation from the Stevensville City Council as of 3/13/2025. It has been an honor to serve the great city of Stevensville. I would like to express my gratitude for the learning experiences that I have while serving the town of Stevensville. I have learned from all of you and pray to God that we all do the best work while we were serving together. Unfortunately, I had to move from this beautiful place, so I must give up my place of service to the town. I hope and pray that this transition goes smoothly for all of us. If there is anything I can do to help at this time, please don't hesitate to ask. My phone number will be with our Honorable Mayor. I love you all very much, and I hope I serve the community for the best. Again, it is a true honor and privilege to serve with all of you and learn from you all. I hope God blesses you all and keeps you all in the great town of Stevensville in the best of shape. Sincerely, Isaiah and Nelson. Per council rules, we put it out in the town website. We put it out on the board outside for 10 days. We did not receive any. So again, like we did before, when Mr. Nelson got approved, we'll put it out again for 10 days for advertisement, and hopefully we get a candidate. That's where we are there. cleanup, one last thing, I'd like you guys, just a reminder that this year, our interlocal fire department is due in June 30th. So I'm gonna bring that forward to you sometime in May, probably the first meeting in May. It's interlocal agreement. I think we have to look at a lot of things in here, a lot of things have changed since 2020. So, anyway, if you guys like a copy of these or anything, let Janelle know, she'll make them for you, you can review them, and that maybe speed up the process when it does come before the council.
I'd appreciate a copy.
All three of you?
Okay, I will be attending an MMIA Board of Directors meeting tomorrow morning in Helena, so I'll take off early for that. We had water and wastewater classes. Kevin and Cody went and did their test the week ago Friday. We didn't get the results for a while. Hopefully, water also passes. Mr. Lassiter is going next month for his water test. Hopefully, he passes that. Andrina has been working hard on the water and wastewater disaster plans. The town hasn't done for like 40 years. Mainly it's contact catch-up work, but she's doing a great job. Bobby Schuler came, was the 19th. She spent the morning with Andrina, and she was very impressed with how quick she had put that thing together. So we have to give Andrina a lot of credit on that. That's my executive comment. And with that, can I get a motion to adjourn?
Move to adjourn.
We have a motion to adjourn. Do we have a second?
Second one.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Yeah, it's
Thank you for reserving.
all the water meters and everything coming down.